You guys, I'm Rachel Demita and welcome to the Courtside Club. During her exit interview, Storm player Gabby Williams warned the WNBA, if you want to keep international players, you need to do better. So here's what she had to say.
The W thinks that they don't have to pay us more in order for us to be here. And I think I didn't express that when I first talked about prioritization. You know, our commissioner talked about us being able to, you know, make 700,000. That's not true at all. There's not one player who makes that. And we were promised, you know, team marketing agreements and league marketing agreements, but they've fallen quite short. So it's still not enough for us international players to want to stay here.
Caitlin Clark, one of the most exciting talents in basketball, has decided to play in Europe, surprising many in the WNBA community. This decision has sparked a lot of discussions among fans and on social media. People are wondering why a player with such huge potential in the WNBA would make such a move. In this video, we'll dive into Caitlin Clark's unexpected decision to go overseas. She was expected to be a top pick in the 2024 WNBA draft by the Indiana Fever, making this news even more surprising. This isn't just any basketball update. It's got fans, commentators, and players on both sides of the Atlantic talking. Caitlin has always been a standout, from her amazing college performances to the anticipation of her WNBA career. Now that she's taking a different path, everyone is curious about what this means for her future and the basketball world. We'll explore why Caitlin chose the European League, how fans are reacting, and what impact this could have on the WNBA and her career. Before we continue, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out. Now, back to Caitlin Clark. During her college years, she was known for her incredible long shots, amazing court vision, and relentless spirit. Every game with Clark was a highlight, and fans couldn't get enough. Her games filled arenas, and she became known for her exciting basketball style.
Gets it into Clark. Clark races away, and the mythical mess. And Gazzardo, the head coach. The team rallied twice in the Southland Conference tournament for wins, and that one dead on. Right on the money. Inside, Sonato can't get it to go. Clark with a little fall away, got it.
Oh, boy. The fader! And what will the team do without said player? And for me, you take Caitlin Clark off the floor. I mean, that just creates so many issues for Iowa.
Tough shot there. Got it to go past Cunningham.
I don't care if you're the first, second, or third line of defense. That's a problem for you. She applies so much pressure with what she does with the ball.
Clark with a triple. Yes. Everybody in the world knows she's going to take it. And she hits it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just Caitlin Clark's skills that made her stand out. It was her personality, too. She brought a cool confidence to the court that was hard to ignore. You could feel her energy through the TV, and soon, everyone was calling her the next big thing in women's basketball. By the end of her college career, there was no doubt that Caitlin was on the path to greatness, and everyone expected the WNBA to be the stage where she'd elevate her game. So, when news broke that Clark wasn't going to the WNBA right away, but choosing to play overseas instead, it shocked the basketball world. Fans were eager to see her continue breaking records and lighting up crowds in the WNBA. With this surprising choice, many started asking, why?
Well, Drea, you don't have to wait any longer. The pick is in. Time to get things back to the podium. Here is the commissioner, Kathy Engelberg.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
Well, Caitlin Clark hugging her family, her brothers, Blake and Colin, her father, Brent, her mother, Ann, and heading to the podium. She is officially...
Caitlin Clark joining the WNBA was expected to be a major moment for the league. Fans were excited to see her face off against top players like Aya Wilson and Breanna Stewart, hoping her unique style would bring something fresh to the game. Her presence could have also boosted the league's viewership, as she already had a huge following from her college days. People were looking forward to exciting matchups: Clark versus Sabrina Ionescu, Clark versus Diana Taurasi, and many believed she could fill arenas just like she did in college. Imagine a game like Caitlin Clark versus Diana Taurasi or Brittany Griner, the rookie versus the legends. It would have been a clash of youth and enthusiasm against experience and tradition. While the veterans might have struck first, Clark's energy and skill would eventually show that power isn't always in experience, but in fresh talent too. However, with her decision to play overseas, these dream matchups are on hold for now. The WNBA, which already struggles to gain more attention, now has to move forward without one of the most exciting players to come along in years. This raises a big question. What happens next for the league? Can they fill Clark's spot, or will this be a missed opportunity that affects the league's future? You might wonder, why did Caitlin Clark choose Europe over the WNBA? There are a few possible reasons. First, basketball in Europe is incredibly competitive, with countries like Spain, Turkey, and Russia producing top talent. For Clark, this is a chance to learn new skills and face different challenges before eventually joining the WNBA. Then, there's the money factor. Many female basketball players earn more in Europe than in the WNBA, thanks to big contracts from European clubs. For someone like Clark, who already has a huge fan base, these financial rewards might have been too tempting to pass up.
Every time we talk about EuroLeague player salaries, it's never that straightforward as it is in the NBA.
Now, I won't go as far as to say that this is a mission impossible, but at the very least, it's a mission very hard.
But with the help of my colleagues, we were able to rank the highest paid players in Europe. My name is Gitas from basketnews.com, and these are the top 50 in EuroLeague salaries for the 2022-23 season. First of all, we have to straighten one thing out. Unlike in the NBA, where everything is transparent and declared down to the last penny, EuroLeague clubs are not obligated to reveal their contracts. So they just don't. Why? Some European teams like to reduce the numbers written on contracts, sort of creating an illusion that they spend less money on players than they actually do. On the other side of the coin, some agents tend to exaggerate their deals to position themselves better for future negotiations. That results in situations where the club declares one amount while the agent tells you something different.
Another reason for Caitlin Clark's decision to play in Europe is exposure. Playing overseas gives her the chance to showcase her skills on an international stage. European basketball has fans from all over, and with Clark's growing popularity, this could help her gain even more global recognition. Teams around the world are always searching for top talent, and by heading to Europe, Clark positions herself right in the middle of some of the most important basketball leagues. Additionally, playing abroad might offer Clark a break from the intense pressure she would face in the US. In Europe, she can step away from the constant spotlight of American sports media, giving her the space to focus purely on her game. This could provide her with a fresh perspective and help her come back even stronger for her future challenges in the WNBA. Finally, there's the lifestyle factor. Living in Europe offers not just top-notch basketball, but also the opportunity to explore beautiful cities and experience different cultures. For a young player like Clark, this move is about more than just basketball. It's a chance to grow personally and professionally. When the news broke about Clark's move to Europe, fans were shocked and had mixed reactions. Social media buzzed with posts and comments. Some people were excited for her, while others were disappointed. Many fans felt that her move was a loss for the WNBA, as they had been looking forward to seeing her shine in the league. Some were sad, thinking they'd miss out on her impact in the US, while others understood that playing in Europe could open up great opportunities for her career. A few fans were just eager to see where her journey would take her next. One thing is certain: Caitlin Clark's decision sparked more conversation than most basketball stories. People aren't just watching her play. They're watching to see how this move will shape her career and the future of basketball.
I don't think nobody in our league should be facing any sort of racism, hurtful, disrespectful, hateful comments and threats. Those aren't fans.
It's clear that basketball, for Caitlin Clark, has become more than just a game. It's now a battleground of emotions, pride, and sadly, prejudice. that has certainly stirred up envy, but for becoming a target of toxic, racially charged criticism from a segment of fans. This negativity has cast a shadow over what should have been a historic rookie season for Clark, as off-court attacks have drawn attention away from her remarkable talent and achievements.
To hear, but it's also the truth in some way. I mean, I wouldn't put everything on Fever fans, but I mean, just overall on social media, I mean, there has been so much hate spread, and even being on this team, like to start the season, I was at the other end of those hate comments. I was at the other end of...
It's surprising that the WNBA didn't foresee Caitlin Clark's decision to play in Europe. For months, people speculated about her potential to become a star in women's basketball in the US, but now she's taking her talents overseas, putting the league in a tough spot. So far, the WNBA hasn't made many comments on this situation, but it's likely that discussions are happening behind the scenes about how to prevent this from happening again. While the league knows that players often go abroad, losing someone like Clark at this stage in her career is significant. This situation raises a critical question. Can the WNBA continue to grow if its best players choose to play overseas? It's a challenging issue, and the league must find a solution soon. With Clark gone, they now face the challenge of keeping viewers engaged without her. They're back to half-empty arenas and games that don't draw much interest. Clark was a key player keeping the league relevant, yet instead of supporting her, they allowed her to take hits all season. In her recent playoff game, Clark dropped 29 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds, basically carrying her team while her teammates struggled. She faced hard fouls and cheap shots without any help from officials, even calling out the refs for not protecting her. Instead of backing her, the league issued her technical fouls and labeled her a problem player. Let's not forget how Clark boosted attendance for Indiana Fever games, drawing in 15,000 fans compared to just 3,000 before her arrival. She significantly increased TV ratings, with over 1.8 million viewers for her games. Clark turned WNBA matchups into must-watch events, but the league couldn't handle her success. And now, with her departure, they're left with an empty wallet. Clark's move is significant not only for the WNBA, but also for global basketball. With her playing for a European team, more people will pay attention to women's basketball worldwide. Fans will want to watch her games abroad, and if she continues to excel, European leagues might gain a lot more attention. This trend also highlights how more American players are seeking opportunities outside their home country. For years, top female players have gone overseas to earn more money and develop their skills. Given Clark's star power, her decision will draw even more focus to the sport globally. So, what's next for Caitlin Clark in Europe? We can expect her to keep shining on the court and racking up points. The European League she's joining is highly competitive, but I believe she'll become a key player there. Her playing style may evolve as she adapts to the European focus on teamwork and skill. Regardless, her talent is undeniable, and fans in Europe will love watching her play. For those of us following her journey from afar, it will be fascinating to see what happens next. Will she become the best player in Europe, or is this just a stepping stone before returning to the WNBA? Only time will tell. Caitlin Clark's move to Europe is a significant surprise for basketball fans and prompts us to think about the future of women's basketball, not just in the US, but worldwide. The WNBA must move on without one of its shining stars, while Europe eagerly welcomes her. But this is not the final chapter in Caitlin's story. No matter where she plays, be it in the WNBA or Europe, Caitlin Clark is a player who captures everyone's attention. Her journey is just beginning, and as fans, we're excited to watch her push boundaries and showcase the potential of women's basketball.
Shot.
45 blocks last year. Clark for 3.
Defend and stop other players from other teams from scoring.
Oh, last year Indiana was 10th in pace. Christy Sides telling us Clark rattles her second 3. 6. Here it is again, Cheryl.
I mean, she's just so crafty.
That's what Trista Gerlich told me about you at Texas Tech. They wanted the offensive foul. Not going to get it. Assist per game. Best assist to turnover ratio in her career last season. Clark gets away with a little push. It's all the way, buries him.
That was a pretty good team.
That was pretty.
What made that team so good, you do?
I
outside Clark again.
So, do you think moving to Europe is the best choice for Caitlin Clark, or does she belong in the WNBA? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Your opinions matter, and we can't wait to see what you have to say.